Alright, what is up YouTube and 40? We're going to be looking at some recent deck lists. Now, if you guys have seen anything interesting, or if you yourself have topped recently, please forward me your deck list. I would be very happy to cover it in a video. If it's more interesting, I'll try to give it a separate segment, and so forth. We're trying our best to cover as much information as we can heading into the WCQ season here. Things will kind of wind down a little bit more as the season goes, so give it time. So the first list we're going to be looking at, I believe this made top 8 at WCQ Mexico, I believe it was. Now, if you guys have been living under a rock, or you haven't been living under a rock, Mystic Mine is the current power card. And much like Orcust of last format, you splash this bad boy in anything, and you're able to deny your opponent the ability to play the game. That's right, we now have an auto win button against literally every deck at the moment, which is insane. I can't believe they would actually make a card like this. Now, in a format with Noble Knights and things like that, we needed a Kaiser Coliseum-esque card. Now the problem is, you know, they're not the only one that's able to abuse this deck, or this card. Like, Sky Strikers are doing it. A lot of other decks are doing it as well, so it doesn't really surprise me. So, our goal is to get to Mystic Mine, set up a relatively large Noble Knight, and then just essentially win the game, because our opponent's not going to be able to do anything. So this is a relatively cool concept, a very new spin on the deck. So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom, 2 copies of Effect Failure, 1 copy of Guinevere, 1 copy of Boars. So when he's equipped, you get to go ahead and make him a level 5 Dark. And you get to reveal 3 different Noble Arms from your deck, have your opponent randomly add 1 to your hand, the rest get dumped to the graveyard. Brothers is honestly the best card in the deck. So this card can attack... this card can only attack if you control exactly 3 Noble Knight monsters and no other cards. And it's normal summon. You can special summon up to 2 Noble Knights from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for this turn except for Noble Knights. Back when limitations were good. And once per turn, target 3 Noble Knight or Noble Arms cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck and draw a card. This card's actually really good. Now, we got triple copies of Constantine. So if you control Noble Arms equipped spell card, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then, once per turn, a Noble Knight monster that is Synchro, Xyz, or Link summoned using this card will gain the effect. So, if this card is special summon, you normal summon 1 Noble Knight during your main phase in addition to your normal summoner set. So that's pretty good. Now, Ivane, if a Noble Arms equipped spell card becomes equipped to this card, you can special summon a Noble Knight token 1000, 1000. And you cannot special summon monsters for this turn except for Noble Knights. So just a little soft limitation that they're putting on this. And then, of course, you guys know about Medrot. When you equip onto him, you get the ability to special summon another Noble Knight. Oh man, this card's so good. Then, of course, spells. We have 2 Called by the Grave. Then we have triple copies of Heritage or Challenge, which either allows you to add a Noble Knight monster or 1 Noble Arms equipped spell card from deck or graveyard to your hand. And then, if your Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell card is destroyed by balance with the graveyard, while this card's in the graveyard, you get to add this back to your hand. This card's actually pretty decent for what this deck wants. Then we have triple copies of Mystic Mine. Then we have 1 copy of Alpha Duder, 1 copy of Caliburn, 1 copy of the new Clarinet, which equivalent to a warrior monster. You can only control 1 Clarinet per turn. And once per turn, you can pay 500 life points if the equipped monster can attack directly this turn. So basically, this is going to be your go-to under Mystic Mine. You're just going to look to kill your opponents. It's kind of in the same way that Sky Strikers are abusing Hayate. We have 1 Excalibur, 1 copy of Gallatin, 1 copy of Destiny, triple copies of Extravaganza, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, and 1 Twin Twister. Then we have 2 Dimensional Barrier and triple Evenly Matched. This is pretty interesting for a main deck choice, honestly. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 copy of Unicorn Karen, triple copies of Isolde, 1 copy of Borlo Dragon, triple copies of Constantine, triple copies of the Sacred Noble Knight of Artorgius, triple copies of Artorgius himself, and we have 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. Side deck here we have triple copies of Lancia, 1 copy of Prinkatops, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, 1 MST, 2 Shared Ride, 2 copies of Twin Twister, 2 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, and 2 copies of Red Reboot. Wrapping up this list. Like I said, it's really cool that Noble Knights have done something in this day and age, because this is awesome. So there's that. Now, next up, back to the boring stuff. Not really. This is a 19th place Trickstar deck profile for you guys, for those of you that are actually excited for Trick. Now, this deck did get 19th place at the regional. It was piloted by Chris and Nguyen, which, I mean, hey, you know what, Chris? Congratulations, buddy. I think it's really cool that this deck is still doing something. And I did talk about Trickstar Control being a viable deck this format, you know, trying to play crackdowns and things like that with Inspector Borders. Got flamed really hard for the Inspector Border part, but, you know, the OCG was doing it, so what do I know? Maybe I'm just ahead of my time. So we're attempting to use crackdown and things like that to kind of curve the metagame a wee little bit. It's definitely more interesting than anything at the moment. So it's a little bit of love to our friends out there that like to play Trickstars. We have triple copies of Coralbine, triple copies of Candina, triple copies of Licorice, triple copies of Ash Blossom, one copy of Lilybell, and triple copies of Droll and Lockbird. Spells, we have triple copies of Pot of Desires, two copies of Terraforming, triple copies of Called by the Grave, two copies of Super Poly. This is actually really spicy in this deck, in the main deck. I think a lot of people kind of not really went down this path, actually. I'm actually kind of shocked. We were too busy missing Scapegoat. So we have one copy of Scapegoat, triple copies of Light Stage, triple copies of Infinite Impermanence, triple copies of Reincarnation, triple copies of Crackdown, and one copy of Solemn Judgment. Extra deck here, we have one Holy Angel, one Link Karibo, one copy of Link Spider, one Nightmare Cerberus, one copy of Hida, one copy of Nightmare Phoenix, one Unicorn, one Ningrisu, one copy of the Amphibious Swarm Ship Ambar Whale, one copy of Borreload and Boral Sword, got those mixed up, one copy of Mud Dragon, one Dragostopalia, one copy of Starving Venom, and one copy of the Violet Chimera. Side deck here we have triple copies of Pringatops, two copies of Lancia, two copies of Ghost Ogre, two copies of Mind Control, triple copies of Twin Twister, triple copies of Evenly Matched. Wrapping this up. Once again, Chris, congratulations on your 19th place, sir. I really hope to see more successful things out of you in the future. So the last deck we're going to be looking here at is actually a nice little fun report from Andres Marcelo. Now, I want to read something here. So he said one thing that he would switch out would be to add 3 Twin Twister in the side for the 3 red reboots, which he doesn't, switch these out for red reboots. So he said, the premise of the deck is to overwhelm the opponent and break the board while OTKing or putting heavy damage and sending up infinity, also maintaining resources in hand. The deck maximizes extenders in the form of Nexter, Galaxy Soldier, and Overload. Also, we're always blinding second. Our biggest points of interaction are hand traps. Cybernetic Overflow should never be searched anymore because we don't have the Summon Sorceress Griffin combo. It's a dead draw, and it clashes with Overload Fusion, the best extender. Okay. So the cores should then search for Fusion for game, or search for extenders to push for game there, or save them for the next round. I cannot stress the importance of Phantasme. It nullifies the striker matchup, puts an extra body against Solid, and lets you fill your hand. It doesn't really clash with the OG Cyber Dragon, as an Axter or Soldier lets you get rid of it to special summon it after. 2 Hearse is the most I've ever played. The card is a dead summon. You have 8 different main decked ways to get it into play, and 1 for 1 is used for Naxter 90% of the time. Lastly, Desires is in there to be used only after you exhaust the rest of your hand. That means if you have your graveyard in setup, you just need an extender, which should draw to allow you to maximize for relevant ones. Side deck space is tight, and if you have space to main the Super Polys, now that Sorka's gone, something to consider. He said he played 4 solids, dropped 1 game against them. You always blind second. So that's something. So let's dig on into this. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom, triple copies of Cyber Dragon, triple copies of Cyber Dragon Core, 2 copies of Hearse, triple copies of Naxter, 2 copies of Effect Filler, triple copies of Phantasme, triple copies of Galaxy Soldier, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, and 1 copy of Jizukuru. Then we have triple copies of Cyber Emergency, 2 copies of Cyber Repair Plant, 1 Rip System, 1 Cyber Load Fusion, triple copies of Machine Dupe, 1 for 1, triple Overload Fusion, and 2 copies of Pot of Desires. The extra deck down here, 1 copy of Platinum Gadget, 1 Link Karibo, 1 Zeger, 2 Nova, 2 Infinity, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Salamangreat Chimera, 1 Cyber Twin, 2 Chimera Tech Rampage, 2 Mega Fleet, and 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Side deck we have triple copies of Lancia, 1 Scythe, triple Prankotops, 2 copies of Super Poly, triple copies of Twin Twister, and triple copies of Sanctum. Wrapping up today's deck profiles. Guys, that Noble Knight deck is spicy. Congratulations to Andres and Mr. Nguyen as well over here. Both of you did very well at regionals. Actually, everybody did fantastic in all of their events. I'm really glad to see that the format isn't as shit as we thought it was. There's a lot of diversity cooking here, and I mean, honestly, that's a good thing. So guys, please leave a comment down below if you guys have lists. Like I said, please send them in. I would like to take a look at them and profile them as well. Information is key in this format. Well, guys, I'm out. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.